Fesi, give us your breakdown on how you feel like your receivers have done, and then kind of maybe more in general the passing game overall, because last week was kind of that breakout you guys were looking for.
Yeah, in terms of the receiver group, been really pleased with them. We've obviously been battling injuries since game one. Kind of had to shuffle through those a little bit. That's the nice thing about depth. I remember talking about it to you guys all through fall camp. Is that's the value of having a deep group. Injuries happen. I haven't never coached a receiving crew that's completely made it through the season, fully healthy. You're always going to have those dingers, some more than others. And so I've been really pleased with how the guys have responded. You saw Keanu Hill and Chris Jackson game one really step in and do great things, and we didn't skip a beat. And then when the Nakua brothers were healthy and ready to go game two, they did a good job stepping in and making plays. So it's nice. I think that's our goal. Makes it hard on defenses to be able to have all guys ready on deck and know that if guys are missing or get dinged up a little bit, we can still function. And then just as it relates to our passing offense, we played with three, really difficult defenses. That first game was hard because there was a lot of unknown, and Don Brown does a great job with his scheme. It's always tough to pass on those guys. And then you play Utah State and Utah and Arizona State with two really good defenses historically and this year. So, we did enough to win. And although everyone would like stats to be higher, I was happy with their production. And then last week was good with the number of possessions we had. I was really pleased with how efficient we were able to be in the passing game. So, happy overall with the group and our passing game.
Jake, you're up.
I wanted to kind of get your assessment. Obviously, as the passing game coordinator, you have a pretty influential role in this offense, but I wanted your assessment of how you thought Baylor did stepping in for Jaron last week.
I thought he did awesome. He didn't surprise any of us. We have the luxury of seeing Baylor practice every day, and he gets a ton of reps, and he did what he does in practice, just poised, calm, cool, collected. I was really impressed with his touch on the deep balls. It's one thing Baylor's always done well. That chunk yardage and those explosive plays are a critical part of our offense. And so for Jaron to go down and to have Baylor come in and be able to hit on all cylinders still down the field was a really great thing to see. And like I said, something I think we all expected. And so just very efficient. I thought his decision making was excellent. His ball, the balls he threw were very accurate, and so just happy with him. And I always feel comfortable with Baylor at the quarterback position if that's what it is on any given week.
And scheme, obviously, you guys don't want to change it too much player to player, but obviously going from Jaron to Baylor, did it have to change at all for you, or did you feel like he just kind of stepped into what Jaron had already been doing this season and just picked it up?
Yeah. The latter. Those two are very interchangeable. Granted, Jaron's probably just a little twitchier and more of a threat in terms of running and breaking any pressure. But Baylor's very capable. He's a very underrated athlete. So when you compare those two together, it's easy to nitpick and say, Jaron's probably a step faster, but really we don't have to change anything. That's the nice thing is Baylor's more than capable to make plays with his legs, and so we feel comfortable that either of those two can fit to any game plan we have.
Okay, let's go Mitch next, and then Sean Walker.
Yeah, Coach, how exciting is it for the offense to be in a spot where you guys are looking to put up more points, yet same time you're 4-0, undefeated, knocking on the door of the top 10. I mean, how exciting is that to be in this spot where you guys haven't played your best football yet?
Yeah, that's really exciting. That's the sign of a great team is when you can learn your lessons through victories. That's a great thing. And so I'm really excited about the potential we have and the ceiling we have, to keep growing and keep getting better, and that's our goal. But to be able to do enough and execute enough to get wins, but know that there's room for growth is a really good position to be in. And I've been on the other side, just where you do really, really well statistically, and then you lose, right? On one unit does a great job and you still lose, and so. Or you haven't played your best and you still lose. And so we're all grateful for it, I think, as a team, as coaches, that we still have improvements to make, but that we do have a special team. I don't want it to be overlooked that, we're just not playing that great. I mean, we're hard on ourselves, and we want to be, the best. And so we're holding ourselves to a very high standard. And so the fact that we're winning does say something. We have a really good team. But I think the fact that none of us are content is also the sign of a great team, that we're striving for something bigger. So
Are those high standards something that you guys talk about as far as goals each and every day, this motivation throughout this part of the season?
Yeah, one of our main themes this year that Kalani's been pushing to the team is doing those small things, that there's nothing that's too small to focus on. And when that's your focus, you're always going to find things to fix and improve. If you just say, oh, let's just go undefeated and have this big picture in mind, you miss out on those little things. And so there's every play, there's something we can all nitpick and say, hey, we gotta do this better. After every game, there's always these little things we're going to talk about that we need to do better. And there's a fine line between not just bogging yourself down and being negative, but also keeping that standard. And I think that's settled into our culture, and a lot of guys are it's resonating with a lot of our team.
Coach, a lot of people look at this Aggie team and they see a really good, fast, up-tempo, dynamic offense. Kind of like you guys, actually, a little bit. You guys have been able to play a little fast this year. But I look at this defense at Utah State and see a really good secondary with guys like Shaq Vaughn and a really good linebacker with the Justin Rice kid in coverage. Is it fair to say that's kind of a strength of their defense? It's sort of that back end. I don't want to just limit it to just the secondary, but sort of that back end of the defense. Do you guys sort of see that as well, kind of just in terms of a strong backside of their defensive unit?
Yeah, they're returning 2 starting corners, and their safeties have experience, and so that's definitely a unit that we feel is experienced, and they do a lot of things defensively that can create challenges for an offense, and you can't do that stuff unless you have an experienced group of guys that you can rely on. And so we know we have a challenge, and we're excited for the opportunity to face a really solid defense.
Jake, you have a question?
Yeah, I just got one more. Fesi, kind of in that vein, the hot topic this week is how big of a rivalry is this? You're a guy from this state. You know what it means in this rivalry. How do you perceive it?
It's an in-state game. There's a lot on the line. There's a lot of emotion. A lot of these guys have grown up together and played Little League together or played in the same high school. There's a lot of mixing with the coaches. I know they have a new coaching staff, and a lot of them are, from back east or down south. But, there's a lot of emotion in this game, and we know it. That their fan base, is electric, and they're passionate, just, a lot like ours. And so it's going to be a fun game. And anytime you play a team that's within this state, whoever it is, whatever institution it is, there's going to be a lot on the line. And so we're excited for it. I view it as this game, the same as I would any other team that's in state. Like, this is a great opportunity. A lot of our families will be at these games, and it's going to be fun, and we're excited for it.
Okay, does anybody else have any questions? Not seeing any hands up. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate you joining us.
Cool. Thank you, guys.